The fight against ISIS, National Security Advisor John Bolton saying that the U.S. troops will remain in Syria until the terrorist group is defeated, meaning withdrawal of forces could be delayed months or even years. Here now to discuss is Peter Brookes, Heritage Foundation Senior Fellow and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense. Sir, thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you.
What do you make of this? Is it the right move? And do you think that this is sort of the final word? Because it's a bit of a pivot from where the president started.
Right. Yeah, I think it would have been better if we'd done this previously to the rollout or the announcement by the president that the president had said to his Secretary of State, Defense, National Security Advisor, look, I want to get out of Syria. Tell me how I should do it. Then the consultations begin. We're aware of a plan, but I think they're doing it a little bit in reverse here, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't mean that it can't be fixed. So John Bolton is out there. He's in Israel. He's going to be in Turkey. I think there are, messages of consultation, of reassurance, and also Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, I think is on his way right now to the Middle East. He's going to be in 8 or 9 countries, and many of them in the Gulf region, to talk about the same sort of issues, ISIS, Iran, and also about the United States presence in the region.
What do you make of President Erdogan is penning an op-ed saying, don't worry, we got it. The president's right. He should get out. And then we are completely against ISIS. We're going to make sure everything's good and it's safe and don't worry.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, I think
I'm summarizing, but that's basically what he said.
I understand. He's also going to be meeting with President Putin soon as well. Probably maybe after his meeting with John Bolton about the U.S. withdrawal. Look, the Turks are a NATO ally. They're a partner. They can be troublesome. We don't agree on everything, as you well know, including the Kurds. I think they have a mutual interest with us on ISIS. And the question also is about Turkish capabilities. We get so used to the United States military and our intelligence services and how terrific they are and how well they're able to get the job done. But not everybody is on the same plane. Nobody's on the same plane, quite frankly, Melissa. So we have expectations that somebody else can just take over what we were doing and fill in there. But that's not the case. So there's a lot of things that need to be talked about, discussed, debated about as we move forward on this issue.
So I also want to get your take on the report that Kim Jong-un is going to visit China for a 4th summit with President Xi. I don't know if it's a coincidence that right now we are in these heated talks with China about trade. I happen to think everything is always connected. But what do you make of this?
Well, we're also having meetings, from what I understand, in Hanoi, Vietnam, about another summit with North Korea. And the president has talked about this as well. So you're right. They are all connected. This would be the 4th time, I think, that Xi and Kim have gotten together after not having gotten together for years. In fact, their first meeting took place last year. So there will be a lot of things for them to talk about. What's going on in the Korean Peninsula,
the
issue of denuclearization. Well, look, China, I think China is not going to be our friend on this issue. So I wouldn't say it is good for us. But it is the natural course of things that North Korea is going to consult with China.
Peter Brookes, you're fantastic as always. Thank you so much for your insight.
Happy New Year.
Good stuff. You too.